What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Sarlacc Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 117, being recorded on July 5th, 2021, and I hope everyone had a happy 4th here in the States. We're fully recovered. It was like a bombing of Baghdad here where we live.
Happy Canada Day to all of our fellow North Americans up in the far north.
Cool.
That was
Happy
July
Canada
3rd,
Day.
so you know.
Nice. July 3rd. Okay, cool. Well,
Yep.
I'll have to put that on my notes. So,
and happy Treason Day to everybody else.
Happy Treason Day.
Happy Treason
Filthy
to the Brits. Yes.
Colonials.
That's funny. Hey, so I'm your host, Darth Butcher. I'm joined here with Grand Admiral Franz.
Hello there.
We've got Scott Solo. Hello there.
What's up, nerds? I was gonna say, General Grand Admiral Franz.
And Bootleg Joe's here with us.
Hey, you. Hi.
So, if anybody's wondering, where is Ernie? Well, we're still in contact with Ernie, so don't fret. He's still dealing with his what he's got going on, so he'll be here with us hopefully soon. But with that, before we get into Star Wars talk, because we actually have a lot of Star Wars talk, and
were you
guess
not
what?
worried where Mike is?
No, I think I'm sorry, Mike.
No,
Mike is still going.
That
guy.
It's just like I just have a banner crawl that goes across, you know.
Yeah, no, Mike.
Sorry, Mike. Before we get into our Star Wars talk, because we do have a lot of it, we have our Patreons that support us every single month. So if you're very interested in being a Patreon, our link is in the description below. But real fast, we're gonna shout them out.
All right. Hey, we've got Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour podcast. We've got Don and Brady of the Escape Pod podcast on Red 5 Network. We've got Crystal Lamphere. We've got Brandon and Anya Epler and AJ from the Forbidden Panel. So Thanks, everybody, for pitching in. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you all.
Awesome. And also joining us in our pit being digested as we speak, we've got a group there. So go ahead and shout them out and let everybody know where they're here. And yeah.
You got
blah, 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 blah.
Do it.
Do something, Scott.
Just do it, Scott.
Douglas Tupper, Gordon Skalski. We've got Gavin Connor. We've got Cliff. We've got Mando Mike. And and I think also probably my father-in-law, Don. He's watching too.
Awesome.
So.
Hey, Don.
Hey.
What's
Don.
up, man? Awesome. Cool. So I want to.
Oh, and Bounty Hunter BNB just showed up.
Hey, there she is.
The pit is in full force.
They're being digested. I love
right.
it. It's amazing. So the order of events today is going to be, we're going to talk about the Bad Batch first off, because we just want to get that out of the way, right? I mean, the Bad Batch episode, what was it? 10?
Yeah, it was episode 10.
Episode 10, Common Ground. That's what it's called. Remember last week we discussed, you weren't here, Chris, but Scott gave us a list of the next 4 or 5 titles that it was on IMDb, except for the last 2, and Common Ground. So it basically proved us right that we had that list, right?
Oh, what are the other 3? So I know what's going on. You guys, come on. You can't tease me like that. I don't know why.
You didn't
right,
listen to the last podcast?
You guys time on a 3-day weekend.
I can't believe it. That's so wrong.
Not this time. I will though now.
Okay, so the next several episodes, we've got episode 11, which is Devil's Deal. We've got episode 12, which is Rescue on Ryloth.
Filler.
Episode 13, Infested.
Filler.
Episode 14, War Mantle. And then the last 2 episodes are anybody's guess. But I'm pretty sure record dies in one of them. So
War Mantle is the plan. It was mentioned in Rogue One when they were looking and found Stardust and all that. War Mantle is the transition from clones to troops.
Got it.
That's
what
that'll be. That's what I was in.
That's where they're going to obliterate not Geonosis, but Camino.
Camino.
Yes.
Right?
Awesome.
The Devil's Deal will be somebody making a deal and getting rid of Omega is gonna get caught again. They're gonna get on Ryloth and have to go save her on Ryloth and meet Cham and probably a young Hera.
Right.
You know, so
we haven't seen young Hera yet, so that would be the ideal place to see her.
Right. But we did have that. Remember, we had the we have not seen young Hera. We've seen a picture of young Hera. Remember when Thrawn was in her house
Yeah.
And that's when he knew. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Just to kind of
cool.
revisit that whole piece. Like they're making that glass piece when they're there. That'd be
Right.
nice. Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Right. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm excited. Even if it is a filler episode, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for going back to Ryloth. I
don't think we're supposed to have any more filler. I'm surprised this one was as fillery feeling as it was.
It was fillery, but it was also, at least it wasn't an uninteristing filler episode.
Right, no, it was a good
fun
episode.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 points of interest in this episode. One is going to project the story going forward. Well, maybe both of them, but we actually get what I actually enjoyed with this. We actually got the what's going on with the separatist worlds, right? How they're transitioning to this empire. You know, we went to Raxus.
Right.
Yeah.
And Sid said, so Sid gave the Bad Batch an order, go to Raxus and basically rescue the senator there. And they got wind as the Confederate, it's a separatist senator. And at first they're like, hell no. They're like, you're doing it because you owe me money. So they do it. But it was a cool conflict with with our clones that we're following. It's like, we're not going to be rescuing any separatists. And then they kind of quickly realized, like, wait a second, you know, we became the bad guys basically in their fight, which was a very, very cool thing. And I'll just jump to the second part, and then we can digest the rest of the episode or whatever. But the second part is the Bad Batch, because of the help of Omega, they got rid of Sid's debt, so they are debt free, out of her control, which took I think way too long.
How is like an afternoon or 2 nights or whatever the hell of gambling gonna put up all these months of deadly missions? Like, what did they really owe, and how much did she make that night? And why not just do that for the rest of their lives?
Yeah,
and,
how much popcorn are
they
they eating? Jesus,
how good at Dejarik is she in order to free them of that debt? Is the real question.
We're not on Canto Bight here. Where do these poor ass people have enough money to pay all this? They're playing with the same Hammerhead and Weequay. They don't have all that money. These guys got $36 between them. You know, between that and the Pantoran she was beating or whatever. Where are they getting all this money from? We're not in a legit casino. It just seemed so out of control to me. It was just wild when I was watching.
Yeah.
The debt piece drove me nuts.
Yeah,
like one night done.
Gavin Connor he was like, yeah, I mean, I think we mentioned it last episode too. It's like, why are they so afraid of Sid? You know, why don't they just blast her?
Oh, Sid too, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Sid too. What were you thinking? He was talking about Omega.
Oh, Omega too. Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I'm sure Joey would like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but they got out of Sid's debt, which is cool because then now they can get off the planet that they're at and move on, like move away.
As long as they don't stay another night.
You know.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Leave now.
Did you do me a favor real quick and highlight Mando Mike's comment right there?
Which one?
It's his latest comments. It's about his question.
Oh, do we still think she's force sensitive? No.
No, I don't think so. Not at all.
She's a strategist. I mean, she's got like Chris said. If you take everything Boba Fett is, that's what she is, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So
what I was saying in the chat, that's what you're bringing up, right? Are they doing all of this to show why that Boba is so strong? They took this time right now, and they're showing why. When we see Boba Fett later in December, and he seems like he's bigger than we've ever seen him. Why? Because they're showing that all these clones have these amped up powers, like Alpha and Omega would. Right. I would think.
I don't think she's still force sensitive at all. And are you talking about Mando Mike's question too, Scott?
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm talking.
I jumped ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
What? Yeah, they didn't. They're doing the Ahsoka route. Blasting those troopers with stun guns or stun instead of blasting them. So,
and all those troopers were still clones, so they were their brothers. You know,
my thing is, if they're shooting at you and they don't care about you at this point, they're long gone. I mean, unless it hasn't been even discussed. Unless we've got to save our brothers. We've got to turn the chips off on eventually, you know, like we kind of discussed that last week too. Was like,
I think they're stunning because they know that they're not doing it on their own. They know that they were controlled. Wrecker was controlled. They know what can go on. So they're like, we're not going to kill him if we can help it.
I also think that's going to change pretty quick. I think something's going to happen and it's going to be a life or death situation and all the stuns are going to be turned off.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as Crosshair comes back in the fold and tries to kill him again. And so
they'll still try to stun that bastard.
I like that they didn't use any color on the clones now. right? They're all
Yes.
Stormtrooper black and white.
Yeah.
It's
all the color, all the personality is gone.
Yeah,
Gone.
I
Yep.
really like it. That you
That
can
was
just kind
cool.
of see it.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
But again,
I also like how that was. Sorry, back to the video game
sorry.
piece, dude. Sid, back to Sid. How she is the video game checkpoint. Like, and Tech comes out with the exposition of the plot really fast, explains. So, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
You know, they do that every week. It's like he'll give some kind of back information that everybody, all of us need to know, and they'll let it go right to the point of, okay, we got it.
Right.
I like just to give it a little bit. It's
fun.
It's fun how they're doing it. You know.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean, I saw that whole Omega do beating everybody at the Jarek and everything, and having this whole hoopla going off, and I think that was kind of cool. I didn't mind that too much, but I don't think it has anything projecting of her force sensitivity. I just think that she's just smart. She's a problem solver. She figures out things really quick that she's proven.
Yeah.
It's just so. I like that. No, it was fun. I liked it. It was a fun episode going to the separatist states, and now they have the center that they freed. I'm thinking because they didn't just blast Sid, also they're going to use her connections. They're going to use her connections for something projecting. So we'll have to see. The Devil's Deal, you said, right? Devil's Connection or something like that.
No,
that's
the
next
Devil's
week.
Deal. That's where Sid turns on them. They're paid off now. There's no money to be made with them. Remember, she says all the time. As long as there's money to be made, why would I not protect her? There's no more money. She paid them off.
That's right.
That's a
right.
great point.
They're gonna,
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate Sid so much, but she's a Trandoshan. So, what do you expect?
Yeah.
No, I agree. I don't mind the character Sid, but I agree. Like, how much did they really rack up eating popcorn? Really, I mean,
Right.
I've
been to Batu, and I know how expensive that stuff is. So.
I mean, they're risking
room, board, water, electricity. Whatever stations they're watching, we don't know what they're.
And then Cliff says,
it was
they finally
Record
blast.
Omega that was
Then
eating the
they blast.
popcorn, right?
Right.
Yeah, Record Omega.
Sid, Omega's gonna have to blast her with the bow and arrow. She's gonna take Sid out. That's gonna be her first kill. I love it.
Ooh,
that's her first takeout.
Dark.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen, but that'd be cool.
Yeah. So next week's this week's episode of Bad Batch is going to be promising. I think getting into the meat of it. We got like 6 episodes left. So
yeah, it has to go nuts.
Here we go. So
Yep.
So yeah, cool episode. But we got that out of the way because we actually got we actually got Star Wars Visions breaking news.
Fancy.
We got a couple things because Anime Expo was coming up. And they did like a little sizzle reel, whatever, behind the scenes. Now, I went and I viewed it. I don't know if anybody of you guys saw it or anything, or the points. There were some interesting points. We got a release date in that too that I did not catch the first time. So September 22nd is release of Visions. 9 short stories, anthology, and I don't think they're canon. I think it's the way they were talking about. They let the artists do whatever they wanted.
Yeah,
existing characters, new characters, any timeline, and any point of story. So I don't think these are canon. These are just supposed to be fun, short, show off their artistic skills, and maybe some cool creative characters that they come up with. Did you guys check this out? I mean, I'm not an anime fan per se, but I was hyped for this.
No, I watched it. I thought they all looked fantastic. I'm very interested to see where it goes. Some of them look pretty on par. There was one where there was a Jedi and a Padawan, and they looked like they were straight up out of Star Wars. And there was a few that looked way out of left field. Which is
cool.
I'm intrigued. I'm really.
I think
intrigued.
there's room for it all, right? I got
I'll watch it. So I'll watch it for fun. I'm not pumped about it because I'm more into the canon stuff, not the what if type stuff. But my son is into anime and he watches all that stuff, and he saw that and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll check that out." So that's
cool.
If
they're 5 to 10 minute shorts, I think it'd be fantastic to. And honestly, I hope they just come out with all at once. Just here's Visions, and you can watch them all.
Oh yeah,
I'm hoping.
Yeah, doing a weekly on that's not going to keep me into it until it's over.
Yeah,
right. But I got the titles of all the shorts.
Oh, do it.
The first one's called The Duel. The second one is Lop and Ocho. And then Tatooine Rhapsody. The Twins. The Elder. The Village Bride, which is...
You don't know. You don't know.
Maybe.
A thing. You don't...
Was it Akagiri? So it must be a character, whatever. This looks like a droid. TO-B1 and the Ninth Jedi, which sounds very Japanese,
inspired.
Anime.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like a
the
samurai
Ninth Jedi.
inspired.
Exactly.
Right.
So those are the titles we're getting. And again, I'm kind of glad it's non-canon because we did talk about this a while ago, talking like why. Oh, actually, Cliff brought this up to me before, like. Why? What is it? There's nothing set in stone saying that they can't expand on other non-canon novels or comics or whatever. I mean, I know they said everything that's coming out in this point has to be canon, right? But this has proven it that they can probably come out with something as entertainment and not mean anything to the main storyline.
I think it's also kind of up for interpretation too. I mean, if you want it to be canon, you can let it be canon in your own head. It doesn't really matter. Like you said,
we're
going to get on that trail, and I'm going to know canon is canon.
That's true too. I have to know because it's. I guess it's no fun talking about like non-canon stuff in the canon world. You know what I mean? It's fun to talk about it separate, but not to like. But in here, because we like to connect things, and we like to make it mean, and then go like, "Oh, see, this happened in this movie," or
if it doesn't connect with anything else, why couldn't it be canon? I mean, if it doesn't have any bearing whatsoever on the Skywalker saga or the Mandalorian,
it's going to. They've shown characters on there that
they showed Boba Fett.
It's going to cross over.
Fett, so
I'm sure some of those Jedi were our characters just reimagined.
Yeah.
You got Luke and Obi-Wan and such.
Yeah, Cliff is saying basically if it makes money, Disney will go for it. Yeah, I mean the I guess the quick response to Disney being like they'll just milk everything, they'll just put whatever out. But I don't know. I think they're very careful when it comes to their content.
Wow. You just went like Alvin and the Chipmunks there for just a very brief second.
Your computer froze. Your computer froze and it caught you up. It was
awesome. That's interesting. You're welcome,
Alvin.
But anyway, we got a Visions update. That's cool. Non-canon being the key point, and September 22nd on Disney Plus. So we'll be looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it. Again, I'm hoping here's all 9 episodes. Enjoy, and it is what it is, and then just have fun with it. I think that's going to be cool.
I just don't want a weekly. Although a weekly would take us almost to Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
that's true too. That's true too. All right, so we got line talk to get into. Ooh. I had posted a video from Lore Star YouTube video, and this was given to me also by Cliff too to check this out. And I checked out this video because it's his own interpretation of a interesting theory that I thought it would be cool to talk about here, and to give the guy a shout out.
And give Cliff executive producer credit at the end.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to try to kind of premise this as best I can. You guys jump in if you need me to. If you need to, I want to take everybody back to Ahsoka in Rebels, the duel with Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. When we left off, the door closed. We didn't know whether that duel, what's the outcome. All we did know is Vader came out of it alive, and we didn't know about Ahsoka. Fast forward to World Between Worlds. In the last series of Rebels, they introduced World Between Worlds, where Ezra goes into this force barrier place and pulls Ahsoka out of that duel, meaning Ahsoka lives. Now, this was Filoni's big reveal at one of the celebrations. Ahsoka lives. So the theory goes, this is where the timeline of Star Wars kind of skews. You have a timeline where Ahsoka dies, which brings us to the sequel trilogy as we know it, meaning Luke Skywalker took Ben at 10 years, his only apprentice that turned on him. They eventually got the DNA from Grogu to bring Snoke into the fold, and we get the sequel of events. The second timeline is Ahsoka lives and was able to contact.
They got Grogu because there was no connection. Ahsoka could never call Luke in order for Luke to get Grogu.
So the Mandalorian
Empire
dies.
got him.
Yeah.
The Empire got Grogu because Ahsoka had died. There was no intervention, no.
And the Dark Troopers were able to take out Din, Djarin, and Bo-Katan and all of them.
And then we go into the events of Luke losing it, going AWOL, Kylo Ren destroying everything, all the way to the Emperor's defeat on Rise of Skywalker. And then the second premise is Ahsoka lives, and then she was able to tell Mando with Grogu to go to Tython, which Grogu contacted Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker saves the day, takes Grogu as his first apprentice instead of Kylo's. And then the events going forward, or we don't know yet. And so the theory goes, it's not real. It's almost like, here's what happened if Ahsoka lives, and here's what happened when Ahsoka dies.
Like Disney already did two different multiverse for Star Wars.
So okay. Yeah, so my first thing was, and I'm sure there's a lot of details that we go into and really like, can this happen? So maybe we should do that first. Is this theory hold water, where there's two separate timelines? Now we don't know how it's going to intertwine with each other at the end, if it does at the end, or are we going to get two separate timelines? Now, the reason why this theory was brought up, and because a lot of people want the sequel trilogy to be retcon. I'm kind of at the point where even if this is two separate timelines, it still can be the main purpose of what we're doing in the next 10 years. Like, it could tie in to a lot of things moving forward. I don't know yet. But does this theory have water? Does it have weight?
It can. I don't want it to. We haven't explored a multiverse. I can imagine changing in that world between worlds, changing an event that would just change all of the future. But I don't want to see it like branching out. I don't want to see it like the TVA and getting bombed and things going off the sacred timeline. I don't want any of that.
Right.
So I think you could probably change things in there. We've seen it change. He pulled Ahsoka out. He saved Ahsoka. Obviously, she was going to die, right?
Right.
So yeah, you can change things, but I don't know if it would change. Yeah, I don't want it. No,
because
I'm trying to say, I don't want it to change what we've already seen. What we've seen is what we've seen, and it should exist.
Well, that's true, because what we've been doing with every bit of content is putting basically the two in this one linear timeline. So this point, Ahsoka, lives, and then we're still getting that we're talking ourselves right into the sequel trilogy, meaning we saw the Snoke bodies in Mandalorian. It still can be it. Most likely, that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? This is just a theory, line talk, what if kind of thing.
Yeah,
now,
but go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, now in the comics, they have already retconned it to where it's not Grogu's DNA that they used to build Snoke; it's Luke's hand. So they've been using Luke's hand to generate Snoke clones.
Up until they ran out of material, right?
Yeah,
now they need Grogu.
Partially.
Yeah.
We don't know how they're doing
it's like
it.
That's combo of the two.
Yeah, interesting. Again, because here's
the thing. Remember, Ben was supposed to be his first student, but the movie says that Leia is. We know Leia was trained with him, right? 6 years. Right. 6 years after. So you have Leia at 6 years, you had Ben at 10 years, but you have Grogu here about 4. So really, there's already this many contradictions. Ben wasn't the first, Leia wasn't the first, now it's Grogu. Unless, again, you said it was Temple, then we're talking about Ben. Right. Or we or we figure out that he was training with Leia, not training Leia. Luke's still learning, so it wouldn't so much be Master Luke to Leia to me. It's more because he's still learning a lot. And then Grogu, I bet we find out that Grogu's 50 years old, guys. He was training for 32 years.
Grogu's not a Luke.
That's what I'm saying.
Luke,
I think that's the joke with him and Ahsoka. What she loves, what she wanted to talk to him and stuff, and why he's able to choose where he goes and what he does, because he's not a baby. He's talking to her. He's like, I got this clown worked up. I'm gonna watch this kid. Okay, I need to go with Luke right now, and then I'm gonna show Luke why I need to come back. I need to go here though to help Luke and like train Luke. I'm telling you, it's not his first two. That's how they work this. I don't want to see time travel. I want to see it explained out in a silly way. I don't want time travel to be the one that fixes this.
I 100%
agree with Douglas.
Douglas says this is not Star Wars. There is no multiverse. Like, and I get it. Right. And here's my issue with this. With the thing is that we were introduced to World Between Worlds, and we haven't gotten anything further. Now, also on that video, the guy did point out that Ahsoka series, and this could be tied into Ahsoka series, has reminiscent of the World Between World logos and her logo. Okay, so Ahsoka. Okay, and according to the theory, Ahsoka living is like an alternate thing. Like she was supposed to die, obviously, and Ezra pulled her out of it. So that might have caused like this huge ripple going forward. Now, I do not like time travel, especially in Star Wars. I don't even like the fact of World Between Worlds because it's not explained to us better, unless we have to wait and see. Unless this is a 10-year plan like they did with Marvel. You know, maybe there is a 2-split thing that they're going to. Again, I don't know. I think it's cool to entertain. The point of retconning I disagree with, because let me and I'll completely tell you guys why. That means Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau had to foresee before Last Jedi that these were going to be crap movies, or whatever. It's just like we're going to put a
crap movies from some people.
Yeah, so we're going to put a formula in place so we can hit this button and reset it before the movies were even out. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is why, if this theory holds water, then this is how we do it, right? Okay. So we have this kind of like curvature split to get to the end result. Could Star Wars do it in a way that's not considered time travel, but something like all the weight falls on Ahsoka's shoulder and her series? Like we're assuming it's going to be her, Ezra, Thrawn, but maybe there's something bigger going on there between the World Between Worlds, and maybe we get like a really good explanation, of this. I don't know. It baffles you to have these kind of theories, and you go at first, because again, I was like with the guy with the video. No, not going to happen. Fight, and then you start thinking like, well, okay, it might hold water. I don't think this is what they're going to do. I said, but we don't know the end. We don't know the long game in this too.
That right there is key. We don't know the long game, and neither did the people that wrote the comics and wrote the books that say things like Ben Solo was originally trained at this age, Leia started training at this age. Nobody knows the full story, and that's the problem with writing things ahead of seeing things live action.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can say retcon all day long, but if you don't know what the plan is and you're writing a book,
That's why they have a story group. That's why it gets annoying, because they have a story group on purpose to keep all this stuff in there.
You're right. However, that crap happened in Lucasfilm in the old days with the EU. I mean, it happened all the time. Yeah, so this is nothing new. We don't know all the answers yet.
But I mean the retconning part, if it gets so jumbled like the EU, then it's like, well, shit. I've been defending the canon the whole time because I'm like, oh, well, EU was so jumbled up and screwed up, we couldn't handle it no more. There'd be no way. We can't do it to canon too. We've got to keep it sharper than that. And Luke's first student is one of those kind of important ass things to know. I want to know who Luke's first student is. I want to know the story on how Luke started this. Was it Grogu? Was it Leia? Was it Ben?
When did Leia start training? When did we know that?
6
What's
years. 6 years after return.
When did it say that? Was that in
novelization?
The novelization? Okay. That must have been something I glossed over. I do not recall that.
And then Mando is 4 years, and then Ben was 10. So
Mando is 6 years after Return of the Jedi. So they
6 years. So maybe same time frame.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe Leia was 4. I had 4 and 6. Maybe it was 4 and 6 in my head. Then sorry.
Yeah, this guy's whole point was basically based on the time frame of when and who Luke took as his student.
Right.
Like I said, with Leia, we can
the Rise of Skywalker already retconned that.
Well, again, this guy's using the World Between Worlds and Ahsoka's thing because of Ahsoka's connection to the Mando and Luke calling in Luke Skywalker, or Grogu.
But Rise of Skywalker came out first.
I know. So that's what I'm saying.
So Mando retconned it. That's what they're saying. Mando is the retconning through Rebels. Right. Being Rebels to Mando. That's the Rebels verse. Like that's the Ahsoka verse there, right? Ahsoka lives as that side. Ahsoka dies is up there. And they said the other hint was when she was becoming all of the Jedi, that all the dead Jedi spoke to her, including Ahsoka, who again could have been dead anyway. We don't know her whole story, but that this is assuming 32 years before she died.
Yeah. Again, this is and it's funny as how if you lay it out on the table as now, it's like, all right, yeah, I mean, this could actually be something, because there's the two. Let's just say this for arguments, for discussion's sake. The two timelines are disputing each other. You know what I mean? Because of of let's just say Ahsoka's ghost in the Rise of Skywalker, meaning it's just confirming again that timeline she'd be dead.
Right.
Possibly that timeline she'd be dead, and because of that timeline happening, she was dead killed by Vader. And then we don't know what's this other thing and how it's going to wreck up. Maybe they're going to give us this thing where it's like, say, in the Ahsoka series, in the movies, or whatever they're going to do, where it's like, moving forward with this kind of theory, using the world between worlds as the catalyst, the split, to bring it around, meaning like if we're going to start getting a story of like Luke training Grogu and the Emperor, like I said, we know that the Snoke bodies are in containers. At this point, we really don't know where they were in the other timeline. Like, again, for argument's sake, other timeline. How is this going to go forward? Are we not going to see Ben be trained, or you know what I mean? Like they can go forward. I don't know. It's a weird thing because
can it happen? Yes, and that's the answer. Is can it happen? Yes. And they were saying Ahsoka has to be the key here because she was already in that moment was the key.
Yeah,
it already happened, right? So that moment's the key to everything.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Leia, say 4 years after Return of the Jedi, becomes Luke's first student. That already retcons what was written in a comic book.
Again, you got to have to clarify student, right? Because when he built the new Jedi Temple, when did he start taking in students? According to the comic book, it was Ben. Ben was his first student there.
Right.
But yes,
according to a comic book.
Correct.
But here's the deal. Film usually trumps it, but the comic book came after the film.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So it's different. Right. Then the comic book trumps it. It's like it got to be order of appearance because
and just
you
because
can they use the comics and books to retcon the movie all the time.
But it's also this theory is also counting that Luke took Grogu to train him. We don't know that
we
yet.
We don't know that.
So
what I was getting at was that we don't know. Okay, so say Luke, it's already retconned that Ben was not necessarily his first student.
Right.
That does not necessarily also mean that Leia is his only student.
Correct.
He could bring Grogu to wherever temple he's at and, say, here, take this. It's annoying me, and give it to one of his other trainees to work with. Or
it's annoying me.
It's annoying me. It keeps eating. It keeps eating everything.
We got more story to go for it. And I'm thinking like maybe a year and a half from now, this theory probably is going to be thrown out of the water into something else because I think,
Yeah. I think we can throw it out already. I mean, personally, I think we can throw it out already because, like, I think it was Cliff said, maybe Gordon, I don't know, maybe Douglas. This is not Star Wars. I think it was Douglas. This is not Star Wars. Star Wars doesn't do multiverse.
It doesn't. It's linear, and
like it or not, it is linear. Yes.
Yeah.
And the only instance we have of it changing would be when Ezra reached in and pulled out Ahsoka.
Yeah,
and then it got destroyed and covered. And not destroyed. It wouldn't be destroyed by an avalanche, right? You can't destroy the world between worlds, but the entry was destroyed.
The entryway, yeah.
And she went right back to where she left. Right. I mean, so it's
anyway. Just like Gordon said, it seems like they rode on to see their pants, and but I do think they have a clear vision of what's going forward because they wouldn't have just throwing Ahsoka, Kenobi, Kazi, all these things at us without this is what's going forward. Now, what I do think is that they're going to be doubling down on with the events of the sequel trilogy because it makes no sense to redo them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think the smartest thing is to empower them at this point.
Keep linking everything now.
Yeah.
Make them stronger by association.
Yeah. And that could. Yep. And that can happen. You can. Like if people have a problem with Luke, right, him running away and all that stuff, you could emphasize the point of the 33 years in between. Like Luke wouldn't just do that. Yeah, maybe he wouldn't just do that the day after Return of the Jedi, but given the 33 years in between and all these things happen, we can show the events that really triggered this. And remember, Luke didn't stay away either. He came back to save the day. So it was this low point in his life, do this whole thing.
Or let's see why, yeah.
Yeah, so all
deal
these...
with it.
Exactly. And Cliff. So Cliff made a comment here saying didn't Last Jedi retcon Rey and Poe meeting?
No.
They didn't
Not
retcon. I
really.
think they forgot.
The books
Yeah.
did. Yeah,
The book,
it
yeah.
did. Yeah,
Yeah,
the book had them meet, and then they did not.
Correct.
yes.
Like I think they
in the
forgot
exact
about that.
same way that they met in The Last Jedi. I think the line was even identical in the book that it was in The Last Jedi.
The reason I say didn't I think they forgot is because it had no merit in moving forward. Like it was like, okay, it just changed that they didn't meet before, but it didn't do anything important.
It was a
moving
screw
forward
up,
with it.
is what it was.
It was a
It
screw up,
miss.
and that's where I was like, okay, guys, talk to each other, right? I mean, yes, it's minor, but at the same time, we pick up on these things, like the what girl in the audio version of the book, or the book itself,
book.
and then
and that's why I say it's so important.
And
that's why we can't head canon, because we have to go by the set of rules in canon. You have.
He does say "what girl" in the movie. It's whenever he sees her and he goes,
scene,
he says, "It's you. It is you."
Oh, that's right.
What he
it
said.
is you. That's the what that
you.
the what girl was.
And that never got any kind of anything.
Nothing. We were like. The blue jeans guy in Mando. I
was just so sure he was the one that gave her to Ankar Plutt to save her from the temple, and I was so sure that was going to happen, man. And
I thought so too.
was the one that hit her, and it's you.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Didn't know anything.
Or the prophecy, right? Like maybe the prophet. Again, going to the chosen one theory, the prophecy. The girl that comes, that would
we're
be
the dyad. We're anything.
Right? Yeah. It
all
proves
got
that J.J. Abrams didn't know what the hell he was doing. To be asked to do
it. All got screwed up with the Rise of Skywalker. They
still
could have continued on that trajectory, but.
And I am bummed about that. I am bummed about that because this isn't just a comic book or a novel. This is an episode. You know what I mean? Like the sequel trilogies are not a 7, 8, and 9, and it means so much. And then for them to handle it the way they did and to admit it that later down the line, like I fought it for a long time. Like, no, they have to. I mean, I'm sure they had some sort of outline, but it just doesn't work. So again, sometimes I don't mind if this theory is be like, okay, we're going to tie this in and move forward with something else. But again, that's just not Star Wars. And I think that's a cop-out and it's admitting defeat. And I don't think Disney is in the mood of admitting defeat.
You have enough media to go around and fix things that you have to. I know everybody complains about you shouldn't have to read a comic, but you can. And Star Wars is a different entity upon it. The movie's already done, so enough complaining about it. Right?
That's why I say
now we fix it through the other media, cartoons, and everything else.
Right. That's why I say double down on it.
Yeah.
Double down on the dyad. Double down on Rey being a Palpatine.
Yeah.
Go. Just give us these awesome stories that tie that in. Grogu being who we still don't know. I mean, there's a lot of story left to be told, and that's what's exciting too.
And that's what Mando's doing. It's giving us those little bits and pieces, which is one of the reasons why I love it so much. Is because it's helping me come to grips with everything else. It's helping me come to grips with Rise of Skywalker. Because honestly, that's the one I've got a problem with. So,
if they moving forward, if they give us more Snoke, okay, and more Kylo Ren being corrupted, and more Knights of Ren, and going into like I said, getting into the stories that weren't answered through the sequels, we get more of Ahsoka, and we get some sort of explanation, maybe in the Ahsoka series, that the world between worlds, what it actually is, and how it can be used.
Did you highlight Mando Mike's last comment there that he just?
Oh, yeah. Someone poke Joe. Is he still with us? He's just in deep thought.
He's absorbing right now.
No, I'm trying to. I mean, I want to come in, but I'm just trying to guide my words.
I hear you, dude. I sometimes, we get kind of like I go thought after thought after thought. Like I
don't care. I'll just jump in and cut you off.
Yeah. So Gordon's with me. Double down on it because we already like Scott said. We got what we got.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. We went through it. The fan base. I'm hoping that it's coming back into this. A fun time and some cool talk and some cool things that are happening. So.
Should be.
Yeah. Mervine says, I hate hearing Star Wars and fix in the same conversation. Yeah, I do too, because we're still having this conversation, but I don't. That's why we're not saying fix. We're saying.
I'm not saying nothing.
You straight up said fix.
Well, I said for discussion,
too,
for discussion's sake, we're saying retcon and not stuff. But we're saying that this theory holds water on what can be the end result and how these two timelines, if there's two timelines, could.
Well, here's my thing with that whole video, is they made that episode on Rebels for a reason with the world between worlds, and it was just one episode. And the way they designed the whole Ahsoka thing to make it look like it's associated with that,
right?
There's got to be some kind of, and honestly, the whole world between world things, I didn't like it from
the
beginning,
yeah, because
it had to do with time travel, and time travel and Star Wars doesn't go together. I mean, I know you guys already said this, but like I just saw that movie, The Tomorrow World,
right? Yeah,
or The Tomorrow War, and it's on Amazon Prime. Great, it's a great movie, but it's the same thing. It's a time travel type war movie, and that on its own, it's a great movie. But that type of storyline on the Star Wars, where you got to keep going back in time to fix something, or going forward to fix something.
I mean, they didn't need that. They didn't need that to make Ahsoka live, to make Ahsoka's story move forward. They could have had her escape that duel, and they really, they really could. So, with that comment of Joey saying there's got to be more to it, which I agree. I agree that the world between worlds, it ties into the Ahsoka series, and I think the Ahsoka series is key to Grogu's story moving forward. I think it's key to moving into the sequel trilogy and to explain that world, because I think that's a one-off phenomenon, what Ezra did.
Agreed.
So Ezra has to be, again, and it's all going to go into the Ahsoka series, and I think that's where they're Filoni, and they're going to put all their the eggs in that series and be like, this is the main story, like that, the main story that we're following.
I don't think necessarily that her story, her show has anything to really do with the world between worlds. I think there's a possibility that it gave Ahsoka a broader idea of what the cosmic force is. It might influence her decisions going forward, knowing exactly what the true power of the force could be. I mean, it could get completely mystical here, and it could just be that symbol represents her new journey, And
well, think about it.
I'm getting all heady now.
Well, remember who she's with? She's always with. Who's with her all the time? I forgot the owl's name.
Right.
I forgot. Right. And that's not like it's nobody.
Right.
And she's been through the world. She's not going to just ignore what just happened to her. She's going to take the next so many years and figure out and study and try to get back to it and stuff. So I can see that still happening.
The cosmic force, exactly.
Yeah, and I can see her even getting back there and protecting it and being like a guardian of that kind of thing.
Holy crap! That's how she could speak to Rey through the Force, is by being a guardian of the world between worlds.
There you go.
Speak to her
that kind of thing.
But think about Ahsoka being pulled out of that battle. At that moment, she was going to get struck down. Now, she's got to be like, my existence from here on is bonus or whatever it is. It's fake in a way. Because she was, she's going to think my destiny was I was supposed to die right then and there, and I got pulled out of it. That's going to have to, and that's why I think that's why I think the series is going to get into that. Her exploring that more, the world between and that thing, because again, her fate now is changed, I guess, or maybe according to the wills, that is her destiny. But I don't know.
Do you think maybe there's a slight? I mean, I doubt it's going to happen, but that'd be cool if she uses it to try and go back to save Anakin.
That would be an attachment.
Point.
That would be an attachment, and I think she's beyond that. I think she's
not a Jedi.
She's not a Jedi, but she would not take Grogu because Grogu had formed an attachment. Right. And she knows what that can lead to. The attachments lead to the dark side. Her attachment to Anakin could lead to the dark side. No, I do not think that will happen.
Yeah, she's more Jedi than the Jedi. Remember,
yes.
She's at this point, even though she says she's no Jedi, she's kind of perfect. So I don't think she would use it at all. I think she took for what it was, right? And she got saved and accepted it, but she'd probably want to protect anybody else from using it and stop anybody else from using it.
I think that she's going to want to explore the reason why she was saved and how
she got lucky. She got lucky by getting back to the same point, right? Because basically the Infinity Stones had to go back right where they were.
Right.
She was also upset that it had happened. She was like, "Why did you do that? Put me back."
That's true.
And they wouldn't help Kanan. It was It was all. They all knew it was wrong.
Exactly,
because of attachments.
They were about to stop Kanan from dying, and they didn't because and that's what's funny. They left it off in such a weird place that left us all be like, hey, wait a second, I've got a billion questions now, and what does this mean for Star Wars lore? What does this mean for time travel. What does
because
this
the
mean
Emperor
for
was looking
Ahsoka?
for it, and they helped. He could send. He's going to keep looking for it. He's not going to stop either. Nothing's going to stop. So it's going to be another entrance way into there. It's going to exist, and then her title card does have it.
It does have it. I honestly think that was what made Lothal so special. It wasn't just that the Empire was building their TIE defenders there. I don't think it was just for the workforce. I think that's what made Lothal a point where the Empire wanted to take it over and maintain control of it. They were looking for that. They wanted that spot. It got destroyed. Maybe it's one and done. Maybe that was it. And it, like I was saying, it informs Ahsoka's future.
It did. It changes everything. Having the world between worlds introduced in Star Wars lore changes a lot of things, because it's like what you guys are talking about, why the Emperor was searching for it, how he manipulated Ezra to finding, to using it, finding it, and all that stuff. And he pulled Ahsoka out. And what does this mean going? So, I mean, there's so much. It makes you go like, okay, everything I just knew about Star Wars is out the door now. And now this whole, exactly. And that's what's fun, right? Because it could be this, we could be doing, like, Filoni could be setting this thing up where, because Filoni reminds me of a guy who sits back and lets things happen and everybody's flipping out. And he just
watch this.
He's like, you guys haven't seen anything yet. Like, wait until this series comes out, because, your minds will be blown. And the way they're setting it up, that's why I said the 10-year plan, right? They're set it up 10 years ago to be like, oh, boom, here we go. And then maybe we find out they had a plan the whole time from Last Jedi or from Force Awakens all the way to Episode 12. I'm just saying.
I don't think so.
That's not happening. I don't care how much. No matter how much saving they try to do and retconning and moving, it's not going to make it all fluid. But they can make the rest of it fun. That's what they ought to do. Just forget it. I don't even care about the sequels. It just add in new stuff, make it cool, and then eventually it'll all just meld and we'll all forget about it. Like Attack of the Clones. I love Attack of the Clones now. Maybe one day I'm just going to be like, oh, Last Jedi is really dope. I mean, it's good. It's just not.
Douglas,
Attack of the Clones good.
Yeah, it was definitely a plot point to bring back Ahsoka, but if it's just that, then I disagree with that, because again, she could have just survived the duel somehow. They do that all the time, so it's not like it's got to be more. So
Vader survived it. She could have just survived it, but
of course,
you're right. They had to.
And of course, Gordon's asking you a question, Chris. If Thrawn is going to be and I think they set that up. If
this is going to be the end of the Empire, beginning of the First Order type of transition too, and I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see Sloane. I think we're going to see a lot of these officers that are going to be back and forth, but Thrawn really leading the pack. And
I would love to see Sloane. I don't know if they will go there though.
This is the time.
It is. It really is the time.
Yeah.
If you're going to use the big Imperial, right, and you're going to use the Grand Admiral, you use everybody else, and that you have kind of in that military mindset right there. You get to meet a lot of people. I think that's going to be a really cool if it goes that way. I mean, I've only got like one theory out of 412. So
yeah, but it's still fun.
It was a great theory.
I don't remember which one it was.
Me neither, but it was great.
Great.
Now I think the only theory I came up with that ever came true is I'm like, Snoke is totally going to die in The Last Jedi. Just you guys.
Yeah, you
wait.
did say that. I did not see that coming. but whatever. I mean, I again, that didn't bug me whatsoever. Snoke dying because I was like, because it's going to mean something moving forward, not knowing that's the Emperor.
Yeah, but hopefully they're going to explain all that. That's what's going to happen. You're going to see Thrawn again, like the Heir to the Empire stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of cloning stuff. There's a lot of new Empire stuff, and they didn't call it a First Order back then, but basically that's what we're going to see, right? And they're going to deal with the clones, and I still think there's going to be some kind of
adaptation of
you're going to have Grogu's clones and Luke's clones somehow playing into a effect.
I'm still thinking that we're going to end up, if they go with the whole idea, like we're saying, of the Thrawn series, I think when we see Ezra, it's going to be a clone of Ezra, a dark clone of Ezra, like
Ezra. See,
please get rid of the added vowels.
But it's what you have to do. It's what you have to do to know it's the clones. Either Mace Windu, Ahsoka, or Ezra. We've already had Luke.
Or we're going to go Omega's word as Ezra.
Omega.
Oh, man, it's already there.
Yeah. So going back to what this discussion, how it started again with Lore Star's video, I appreciated the video. it's almost my final comments to that video is I don't think we have enough. He thinks we have enough information to move forward with that kind of theory. I don't think so yet because I can't identify the end game to it. Now, if it's just, again, for argument, if his argument is just to, if this is the plot device to retcon the sequel trilogy, again, in reality, I don't think so. I would like to see it. If this theory is true, I would like to see how it does fit going forward, like if you know what I mean. But anyway,
Muggles would have a hard time understanding it, and we would have a hard time accepting it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's no positive in doing it. It's not gonna make okay. Here's the stopper. It's not gonna make happy the people that they want to please. They want to please a certain set of people. Retconning the sequels is going to be the opposite of that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's fun to talk about. It's a fun theory to mess around with and to say the what if,
Agreed.
but it holds no weight at all.
Well, I kind of disagree with that just a little bit about the holding no weight. I think there are some interesting key points that they point out, like plot points. Like, oh wow, it's there, like it's there, but I don't think that's Disney's direction, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like this, it's there if they want to. Like Chris said, really disrupt but I don't think Disney.
Basically, it's sitting at the doorstep, just waiting for someone to open the door.
It's a device. Like I said, it's a possibility of many possibilities, but I think the reality is, no. I think we're gonna, like I said, just move forward with what we've got and start and continually add to the canon story moving forward and stuff like that. Again, interesting.
On a scale of 1 to 10 in the whole idea of possibilities, it's number 1. It's 1, 10 being the best.
Oh yeah.
Possibility.
Yeah.
It's way down there on the list.
Yeah, because just like people in our chat, right? You start throwing out multiverse and retconning. It's not right. It doesn't fit right. It doesn't sit right in the Star Wars. What we've been doing the past 40 some years. So it just doesn't sit right.
Especially while Marvel and DC are both doing the same
thing. Yeah.
Right? You can't go through a Flashpoint and a multiverse of madness all at the same time. And Star Wars World Between Worlds.
Right, exactly. So again,
the time to do it and everybody's doing it, so why in the hell not? So everybody has
Star
to
Trek did it. I can't believe I said Star Trek, but Star
I'm
Trek
out.
did
All
it.
right, so you can find us on where?
That's right. No, but I mean, I'm just saying it's the cop out, right?
Yeah.
It's the cop out, and I just don't want that for Star Wars. Come on, guys. There's better ways of doing it, right?
Yeah.
So
for sure.
All you need is somebody with some creative writing skills and a plan. If you've got a plan and creative writing skills, you can make anything happen. You can make it all work without having to rely on that kind of MacGuffin.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate Lore Star. I think his video is awesome, honestly, because he put a lot of effort and thought into it, and he thinks like us too. So if you guys ever get a chance to go check out his channel and everything, and maybe I'll reach out to him. Hopefully, maybe he'll come on to on our show, and I'm giving an open invite to him to come on and discuss more theories like that. We like to do. That's what we do. It's like standing in line. We do discuss ridiculous theories sometimes, like out of left field, but again. Here's some things that it might be able to hold water, but again, the question is, will they?
Yeah, I don't know how many times we all, this guy right here, thought that Commander Pride was Grand Admiral Thrawn. So yeah,
exactly. So
just because he had blue light shining on him at one point,
he should have been, and he looked like him, and it would have been perfect. It was dumb. It was dumb not to, and it wouldn't have hurt anything at the time. You could have called him Thrawn right there and painted him blue, and it would have been perfectly fine, right? He took Hux out, figured it all out really fast. It was no problem. It was
died in the end.
Right.
That would have been a waste of character right there, I think. But it would have been cool.
Joey Drink, hey, welcome to the pit. For coming in. Also, off topic. What do you guys think about George Lucas maybe writing a couple episodes of Andor? I'm 100% down on anything. If he wants to come and write, I'm down.
Oh, we were down for it. It ain't gonna happen. But I'm always down for George Lucas to do anything Star Wars. I wish he would, because the day he does something like real Star Wars, besides just walking in and saying Han wouldn't hang up the
I think that's his role from now on.
If he would come in and pop off an episode of either Andor or I would think Kenobi, if anything.
Agreed.
But I think the rumor was Andor. I think that's what it was.
It was.
So. Ain't gonna
Ahsoka
happen.
too, because Ahsoka, he was around when Ahsoka was created.
No,
He was
dude,
part of
that's
his-
Filoni. That's Filoni's baby. Nobody's ever touched her, not even George. That's him. That's
Right.
That's
yeah.
been his since jump.
But I wouldn't oppose George Lucas coming in and writing anything.
I'm with
Yeah.
Cliff. I'm with Cliff. Not to be the naysayer.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right, I didn't say anything about directing or right. Maybe here's the treatment for this episode: a 2-paragraph treatment, and let someone else do the screenplay.
Okay, screw it. Let's do this. Would you give him a whole series?
If he plotted it, I'd give him. He
Yeah,
is a
of course.
fantastic
I don't think anybody
idea
would
guy.
frown on it. Honestly,
Yeah,
I honestly don't think
just-
anybody would frown on it.
What would you give him? What series would you want from George? Like, what would you want? Old Republic from George?
No,
The
'cause
Acolyte.
He doesn't know any of it.
No, I mean that he'd be able to make it. Like he get to reinvent.
I
He wants
no.
to do whatever. He wants to start with his own stuff. See,
Right. Yeah.
that's the thing. George couldn't do it anymore.
Remember, we were going quantum realm with George Lucas in the sequel trilogy.
Midichlorians,
so,
baby, midichlorians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe no. Maybe.
So okay, it's going quantum realm with the midichlorians. Does that really mean that we weren't going time travel anyway? I mean, was George
That's what I'm
going to go
saying.
out there and get that kind of wild?
Would George Lucas do that? I think he's smarter than that.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he took the he was with the midichlorians. He was basically, and I know it kind of went full circle, but he was basically taking the magic behind the Force using and making it mechanical.
Biological.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was a mistake. I think myself. Maybe he admits it was a mistake too, because again, after episode 1, it really, really, really wasn't mentioned and explored further.
George would never admit to making a mistake.
Yeah.
in
He
his universe.
He did make a mistake with Jar Jar. He did make there was a documentary I have, and the episode 2 line. Let's put it this way: he didn't admit the mistake, but he took Jar Jar out of the future content because of fan backlash.
Oh, yeah.
This wasn't George Lucas just standing his ground doing whatever he wants. He did it because the fans said no.
Oh yeah, but I don't think that was a mistake. I still don't think Jar Jar was a mistake. I just think he
But, I
just
mean,
took the,
it wasn't
took the
George
feedback and
Lucas's
ran with
vision.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
I
yeah.
get it. I get you.
He's human too, man. I mean, he wants to please people too. I mean, it's not. He's not Michael Bay where he just does whatever he wants and ruins child. Okay.
What about working
but-
on 1 or 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, that would be fine. So basically anything.
Yeah. I agree with Chris. I think his role from now on is showing up on set, saying hi, checking out the new technology, shaking hands, and then being like
Kissing babies. Kissing baby Yodas.
and being like, yeah, maybe Han Solo wouldn't have done that, or maybe Han Solo would say this instead of that, and then walking out the door.
That's why so I see being involved in the Ahsoka series for that part, for what would the Force do, but I think Filoni has a pretty good handle on what the Force would do. Right?
Yeah.
So I really think just for fun, even though Andor is the rumor, I think fun would be the Kenobi series.
Yeah.
Because his sequel trilogy would have had dealt with Maul and things like that. So why
Maul and
not?
Darth Talon, I think, was the
so-
last rumor.
I think that'd be the ticket for me if we got George back or
But-
his own series on Jedi.
Right, but I don't know if I would. Honestly, I don't know if I would want George Lucas to write anything Old Republic, because I don't think he knows it. Like, I don't think he would agree with a lot of it either.
We need to
So-
get Drew Caprichan in there to write the Old Republic, write a Bane trilogy, right?
Yeah.
I'd be down with that.
Just use the same Bane trilogy is completely canon. Canonable.
You don't need to
Right.
change anything.
Right.
All
You
the
can
stuff that
just
came
put
in the
that
Old
there.
Republic, you don't have to change anything.
Just bring it to
still make
fruition.
it
That's
work.
it. Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it needs to be adapted because you can't have that much of a story told in a trilogy of of
Right.
movies. But I mean, shit, you can
Do a
anything.
series.
Yeah.
Adapt it for a series like everything else.
And then people complain that, but the thought
like
bomb was
everything
renamed
else.
thought bomb. Yeah, whatever. But
Well, I mean,
It's always the thought bomb coming up.
yeah.
Damn
I
it.
hate the name of that damn thing. I hate the name of the thought bomb. That's so dumb.
They put
Out
no
of all
thought
the
into
things, of all the things you could call it, why a thought anyway?
Well, okay, you can change that. But yeah, so again, that was a fun discussion. We'll do that again. I'll scour more things, and as people recommend videos, I'll watch it. And if it's something to bring on the show, to bring our in front of line talk, and we can digest it and get some good theory crafting going, I'm all down. I'm all for it. So With that, I think we're out of time for this week. So join us next week again as we break this thing down live. Thank you, everybody in the pit, for your comments and questions and just having a good time with us. Our Patreons, thank you very much for making this thing happen so we can afford to do all those cool little effects that we put in the beginning and in between on our format. So with that, I think Scott's going to take us out. So I will say my goodbyes right now.
Let's see if I can get this straight now for once. Okay, you can find us on all the social medias, basically the Sarlacc Digest Central on Facebook. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter. Just look for Sarlacc Digest. There you're talking to this guy up here, Grand Admiral Franz. Grand Admiral Franz. And then you can find Bootleg Joe. What is it? Bootleg _760?
Bootleg Joe _760.
That's the guy right there for some toy photography. He kicks ass at it. So give him a like and follow his work. Also, TikTok channel. Yay. Yes. You can find our 1 minute toy reviews where I try to talk as fast as humanly possible while showing a toy. One of these days, I'm going to release a video of outtakes, which will be probably get more likes.
That would be hilarious.
Than anything else.
TikTok can do 3-minute videos now, so if you have 3 minutes,
3 minutes.
That's where I review adult toys. So watch for those videos coming soon.
All you need is 3 minutes. Yeah.
So yeah, 3 minutes to show all the outtakes, but still keep it to 1 minute toy reviews. That's the way to go.
That's cool.
I
Absolutely.
cuss so much whenever I screw something up. It's like,
oh, dude, I can't wait for the outtakes.
Yeah. So anyway, other than that, I think that about covers it. Follow us. Please join us on Patreon. Please take a minute to log on to Patreon if you're so inclined to give us a couple bucks to help us keep producing the show the way it is and maybe add some more special features to the show. It's patreon.com/Sarlacc Digest Podcast.
And if we can get enough money, we can get Ernie back because his salary demands are out of control.
Yeah, we're saying life issues, but he's on strike.
No, this is a contract dispute.
The podcast union is we're in negotiations still.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's why our internet keeps going out. Communication disruption can be only one thing: Ernie's invasion. All right. So in addition to that outro,
networks, right?
That's right. So in addition to the outro, please check out the Raw Live and Unedited Podcasting Network and also the Red 5 Network with awesome more Star Wars shows than you can count. So
More than five.
So with that, guys, we will see you next week on Monday live, same bat time, same bat channel. And also check out our other videos that we've been dropping, our Beyond, that we talk about everything else that's not Star Wars. So that's been a lot of fun. So we just did Indiana Jones, and we've got a special one coming out again this week. So please check out that, support, leave a comment on anything else you guys want to listen to and have us kind of geek out on. So that's a lot of fun.
Yes.
With that, we are out.
Keep it nerdy, everybody.